Good morning, it's Mrs. Gould. I understand that you wanted to learn a little bit more about Roman numerals. So let me teach you how Roman numerals work. So the Roman people lived a long time ago in ancient Rome, and of course Rome is a country that still exists today. The ancient Roman people were responsible for a lot of things having to do with our language and religion and society and government and literature. And so the Roman people, they really had a big influence on our culture. They believed in multiple gods. So a lot of you, if you're reading Greek or Roman mythology, you've learned a little bit about that and all the different gods that they believed in. But let's talk about how they would write their numbers. They didn't write it like we would with 1, 2, 3, 4. They had symbols that, like we write these symbols. I'm going to write them down here. And then I'll show you what they wrote instead of writing the symbols that we write representing 1 thing, 2 objects, 3 objects. For 1 object, they would put a letter I. And usually you see it in capital letters. Sometimes you'll see it in lowercase as well. So 1 I would be 1. 2 I's is 2. And they write it like 2 capital I's squeezed together. 3 I's looks like this. So it's 3 I's squeezed together. And then when they get to 4, they start using the symbol for 5 and then taking 1 away from it. So the symbol from 5 is a capital V with some pillars on the top and bottom of it, or sometimes you'll see it with no pillars on the top and bottom. So sometimes you'll see it just like this. Okay, and of course we see these things sometimes on clocks as well. Very fancy clocks have these representations. By the way, sometimes you won't see these numbers with pillars on them, so sometimes it'll just look like this. Okay, so just be aware. It might have the tops and bottoms on, or it may not. Okay, so when we go to notate 4, we actually do 5 take away 1. So this is 5 take away 1. This is 5. When we go to do 6, we do 5 plus 1. So if they're adding the amount, it's on the right side. If they're subtracting the amount, it's on the left side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you guess what 7 might be? You probably guessed 7 is the 5 symbol with 2 I's. And again, it can have with or without the bars on the top. 8. I bet you guessed it. 8 looks like this. And then for 9, the symbol for 10 is an X. And so for 9, we would do an X and then subtract 1. And then when we get to 10, it's just X. Okay. Now we can use these symbols then to create a number. For example, if we wanted to make 15, can you figure out how we would make 15? Well, we know about place value. 15 would be an X with a V. That would be how you would write the number 15. Okay. Let's talk about, oh, and then let's say could you write 35 or 34? I bet you could, right? 34, can you guess, would be 10, 20, 30, and then the symbol for 4, which is 5 take away 1. Okay, and again, you'll see it in the Super Bowl with lots of little bars over top of it. We always mark our Super Bowls with Roman numerals because they're fancy. Okay, let's talk about when you get into the hundreds then. So we know what our tens are, we know what all of our normal digits are, but when you get up to 100, so 100 is C. So then 200 is CC, which makes sense. 300 is 3 C's. 400, we'll talk about 400 because you have to know what 500 is in order to do 400, just like we had to know what 5 was to do the number 4. 500 is the letter D, which makes sense. And so you probably can guess what 400 would be. 400 is that D with a C on the left side of it. meaning 500 take away 100. I bet, based on this pattern, that you can guess what 600 is. Did you guess? 600 is the D plus the C. It's 500 plus 100. Could you guess 700, 800, and 900? If you guessed this, you would be right. Now, you just like when we flipped over from 9 to 10, you have to know what that whole symbol is to figure out what the 900 or the 9 symbol is. So the symbol for 1,000 is M. Based on that information, can you write down what 900 would be? Or can you think in your head what 900 would be? You probably guessed it. It is 1,000, and then we're going to subtract off your 100 symbol, which was a C. Okay? So these are Roman numerals. Now that you know at least up to 1,000, and then obviously you could go over 1,000 by using the M symbol. I have a little riddle for you, and we'll have to see if you can figure this out. So let me move my paper up a little bit here. Sometimes people will hide a date in a secret message. And let me show you what I mean. I'm going to write this sentence. My cat Max likes vans. And in this sentence, there's a hidden year. So if you look at this sentence, there's an M, a C, an M, an L, an I, which we learned these are all letters that are involved in Roman numerals. And there's another one, a V. Okay? So knowing that these letters are involved in Roman numerals, you can hide a secret year within this sentence. Pause my video now and see if you can figure out or start to figure out what year this may be. All right, if you can't stand it and you want me to explain, or if you paused the video, congrats, and tried to figure it out on your own. Let's talk about what this year is. So if we put the Roman numerals together, it would look like this: M, C, M, X, L, I, V. Whew, that looks really, really long, but it's a year with just 4 digits. So if I told you that, now maybe you could pause the video and try to figure out what year this is. And I think I'll help you a little bit too. I will kind of box out some things to kind of help you. So just to give you a little hint, so this helps you with the first number. This part right here, the C and the M, helps you with the second digit in the year. The third digit in the year has to do with these 2 letters going together. And then the last digit in the year are these 2 letters that go together. Does that help a little bit? It should. Pause the video and see if you can figure out what the year is. Let me move this down so you can see my guide here. All right, I'm back. Maybe you didn't pause because you can't stand surprises. Did you guess the year 1944 based on this code? If you did, you were correct. I want you to see this week if you can write your own sentence that involves a secret year. And the way you can do it is write down a year and then write down the Roman numerals for that year, and then try to make a sentence based on the letters that you put here. This is obviously my cat, Max, likes, where did I get the X from? Oh, Max. I forgot to underline the X. Oh my goodness. Max likes vans. So that might have thrown you off because I did forget to underline that X. I hope you caught my mistake. Have fun playing with Roman numerals, everyone. Feel free to pause the video to copy down the Roman numerals that I put on here, and so that you can kind of create your own secret codes for secret years or just practice writing with Roman numerals. Have a good week, everyone.